Okay, welcome back. We're up, 40 points on the Nifty. We're at about 19,570 at this point in time. Let's shift focus to the sugar sector. Now, the Uttar Pradesh government is likely to increase the sugarcane SAP, that is the state-advised price, by 25 rupees per quintal for the season 2023-24. Also, weak monsoon has led to a surge in sugar prices at the retail level. To know more about the entire picture and how things are shaping up, we have Tarun, Sawhney, Vice Chairman and Managing Director at Triveni Engineering, and Vijay, Banka, Managing Director at Dwarikesh Sugar Industries. Gentlemen, good morning. Great to have both of you here. Appreciate it very much as always. Mrs. Sawhney, is this confirmed, the SAP going up?
No, it's absolutely not confirmed. Good morning to you. I think it's a rumor in the market, and I'm glad that we're addressing this at this particular point in time. Firstly, the determination of SAP by the Uttar Pradesh government, September is far too early. We're at the very beginning of September. Typically, the Uttar Pradesh government likes deliberations on cane price during the month of October, and we enter into the final part of that determination come November, and sometimes even December. So this is far too early. It is a rumor. And frankly speaking, I think 25 rupees would be a very high cane price increase if that were to happen in Uttar Pradesh. And I think that the track record of the Uttar Pradesh government, which is for the last few years, has been quite remarkable. They've been very sensitive about where sugar prices are and what is happening on sugarcane productivity, so that the income of the farmer always continues on a higher trend. And therefore, I don't necessarily see that the increase in SAP, when it does happen, and if it does happen, will be as high as what is being rumored at this particular point in time.
Okay, now, Mr. Banka, do come in. I mean, same question to you. And just a comment that some of the states, right? I mean, big sugar producing states, I'm not talking about Uttar Pradesh, but states like Maharashtra, Karnataka, rainfall has been scanty, has been patchy. So sugarcane yields are down. So would this kind of a move tell us the experience in UP, and would this make sense? Logically, would this make sense? Mr. Sawhney says no.
Well, in Maharashtra, the rainfall has, of course, been very scanty. I think the deficit is more than 20% if you combine the months of June, July, and August. So it definitely has kind of impacted the yield and the sugar available for crushing. So we will see a lesser quantity of sugar production from Maharashtra. ISMA has estimated that it's going to be about 95 lakh tons. UP also has had heavy rainfalls, more than usual or more than normal. So some parts of the UP have been badly affected. Flooding has happened in few parts, so that has also stunted the growth of sugarcane. So we will have to wait and see, if the water recedes early and then, the farms dry up, then there's a possibility that we may recover some of the lost ground.
But if not,
as Mr. Sawhney rightly said.
Yeah, go on. Sorry. Go on, please.
Mr. Sawhney rightly said, the issue of SAP is just a market speculation. So we will have to wait and see. There is a process the government follows, and once the government follows the process, we will hear about the SAP for the next year, for the next season in the next couple of months.
Okay. Mr. Banka, morning. I'm also interested in what's happening with the diversion to ethanol production. Now, with this state of the sugar industry, will there be a cutback in the sugar diversion to ethanol production as well?
I don't think so. Ethanol production has got all the impetus from the government, and government is focused, and so is the industry. So capacities have been set up all across. So we don't see any kind of setback to the ethanol production. There have been some transactional issues, some glitches here and there. Well, we expect that the government will iron them out.
Okay. Tarun, what about you? What is the situation as far as ethanol production is concerned now? Are we on track to meet the targets? And with the current situation, do you see any cutback?
So as we move into Q4 of this ethanol supply year, I don't see any cutback on targets at all. The government has increased the price of food grains that will be converted into ethanol. And I think that's had a positive impact on maize as well as open market rice. And so we're seeing greater amounts of distilleries that had stopped operations for a few days have restarted and are supplying into the ethanol supply program. I want to emphasize the fact that the sugar industry is actually doubling down. The sugar industry has come out quite vociferously and said that we are in complete support of this program, that we will divert all excess molasses towards the ethanol supply program so that we meet the targets for this year. And of course, as we move into the next ethanol supply year, we will look forward to commensurate price increases so that we can plan ahead and meet the more aggressive targets for the next supply year.
Okay, now, so there were restrictions placed on exports, right? I think 6.1 million tons this season in terms of exports. There has been some talk, Tarun, of limiting sugar imports as well. Have you heard anything?
So there are no sugar imports at this particular point in time. The determination on sugar exports is one that will be made probably at the beginning of the next calendar year, once the central government fully ascertains the extent of sugar production in the country. To our best knowledge at Triveni, we believe that the production of sugar in the coming season, while it will be lower than the previous season, will still be substantially higher than the consumption of sugar in the country and the sugar that will be diverted towards the ethanol supply program. And therefore, I think there will be some small quantity that will be available for sugar exports when this determination is made come January 2024. So I am still quite hopeful that we will have not perhaps such a large program as we did last year and the year before, but something quite substantial so that the markets that have been accustomed to receive...
So Tarun, you're talking about that 6 million number, or you're talking about a new number?
Correct.
The previous year was 11 million.
Correct. So 11 million that came down to 6 million, and that next year will be lower than 6 million, substantially lower than 6 million, but there at least will be a number. And I think that is very important, not just from the Indian domestic perspective, but also India's role within the trade of global sugar.
Okay, and there is no banning of sugar imports, if it comes to that, I mean, no impact, you're saying. There are no imports in any case. That'll make no difference.
Correct.
Okay. Got that. Just one more question, Tarun. We're hearing how global sugar prices are spiking higher, right? They're at a couple multi-year high, etc. Are prices here rising in a similar way? Or there will be a bit of a cap here. Prices will not go up, even if... So we should not really take indications from what happens to global sugar prices.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. International sugar prices and domestic prices are delineated to a very, very large extent. And therefore, there is no direct linkage or causality between what happens in global market prices and domestic Indian sugar prices. Prices in India have increased just very slightly in the last week or 10 days, but these are sort of momentary responses to festival demand, etc. that happens. I think overall we're in a scenario of stable sugar pricing, and I don't see any particular spikes of sugar price in the months that lie ahead. I see, although I do see a period of great stability, which is quite good for all of us in the industry.
Mr. Banka, same question to you on the sugar pricing picture. What is the situation now? I think retail sugar prices are a little around that 45 rupees a kilo. Do you expect prices to improve in the quarters to come, and global sugar prices as well? What's your view?
See, the global Indian sugar domestic prices are actually dealing with the global sugar prices because as we have seen in the last year, domestic prices have found no resonance from the global sugar prices. Global sugar prices are high because of various factors, because the trade believes that India may or may not be exporting more sugar. Thailand crop is bad. Of course, there's a big production number expected from Brazil, but overall, the situation is not going to be. It's going to be a tight situation going forward. Yes, the sugar prices have rallied in the last couple of weeks in India, but as Mr. Sawhney said, it's mainly because of the festival demand that is there in front of us. And we see prices, there is going to be no runaway increase in the prices. The prices will remain stable. And we only hope that if there is any increase in the SAP, it finds reflection in the domestic prices as well by a commensurate increase.
Okay, all right. Gentlemen, we leave it at that. Thanks a lot for joining in and telling us more about the sugar industry and how things are shaping up. But let's